Sarah Jo is recording her sister Trina dancing because she's trying to become an influencer. But Trina stops when her mom, Marilyn, asks why she's not wearing the set she got for her. Then Marilyn asks Sarah Jo if she already collects on Mark in Unit A. Sarah Jo has not been able to locate him yet, which means that he will be getting an eviction notice. But before comes breakfast, at least for Sarah Jo that looks like yogurt, but for Marilyn and Trina it consists of sharing a blunt. After that, Sarah Jo places the eviction note on Mark's door. However, when he opens the door, he crumples the paper. Then Sarah Jo connects to her group therapy session. And when she's done with that, she goes to the home of Zach, the kid she's taking care of. Heather, the mother, is really stressed about work, but Josh makes her feel better so she can leave. Zach makes Josh and Sarah Jo dance after his mom leaves. At home, Marilyn asks her daughters if they want to hear their origin stories. They agree, so Marilyn begins by saying that she was 30, but felt 80 and spent 13 long years in this town of California. Marilyn met Bruce. He was an entertainment lawyer with a big house in the hills. But the time for them to split up was coming because he wanted a new woman to bring to Oscar parties. However, in Marilyn's plans was a baby. But she meets a model, they become really close, and she supports Marilyn throughout her pregnancy. Marilyn leaves Bruce, Trina is born, and this model starts dating a guy she met at Scientology. Marilyn and Trina move into a nice apartment in Beverly Hills. As for Sarah Jo's origin, Marilyn says that she was having a fling with her personal trainer, Roy, and he was doing such a good job that she just realized when Sarah Jo nearly slipped out at 7 months. Roy tried to make it work out, but to Marilyn he was such a simple guy that she sent him back to Florida. At night, Marilyn tells Sarah Jo that men love women who have backstories. This makes Sarah Jo try something different today at work. She straight up asks Josh if he finds her beautiful. Josh is confused. Sarah Jo pulls her shirt up to reveal a scar and tells him that she hopes it won't be an issue for him. Josh immediately apologizes, saying that she doesn't need to do that and feels bad to have given her the wrong impression. Sarah Jo tells Josh that she doesn't want to continue being a virgin because she's 26 and she likes him. Josh tells her that she needs to find a nice guy her age. Then Sarah Jo proceeds to tell him about her backstory. She says that she is scared because she had a radical hysterectomy at 15. Josh asks if he can kiss her and Sarah Jo agrees. Then he lays her on the floor and tries to push himself in, but it doesn't work. Josh feels terrible for that and says that he and Heather don't do it anymore. But Sarah Jo allows him to at least finger her. The following day, Sarah Jo tries to act playful with Josh, but he tells her that what happened yesterday can't happen again. But Sarah Jo lifts her skirt and that's all it takes for Josh to lose control. Then when Sarah Jo arrives home, she tries to comfort Trina because she's sad about her boyfriend not believing he's the father of the baby she's expecting. Sarah Jo naively says that she has nothing to worry about because she has done it just with him. But Trina tells him that her boyfriend is not the only one she has done it with. The next day, when Sarah Jo goes to work, Josh surprises her by taking her to a cabin he rented for the two of them. After they do it, they have mushrooms and suddenly everything takes on a different look for them. In the morning, the passion has not faded. Josh showers Sarah Jo with pleasure and then he gives her a necklace saying that he wants her to have it because she's special. After that, Josh introduces her to the online world of adult content. Today, at Sarah Jo's house they're celebrating Trina's almost baby shower because she won't be having the baby. But since Marilyn is super spiritual, she believes that they will welcome the baby in the future. Jace, Trina's friend, really thought they were celebrating an actual baby, so he got the wrong gift for the occasion. Sarah Jo gives her sister a necklace that represents that love can neither be created nor destroyed. Trina doesn't like it. But later Sarah Jo submerges herself in the internet to get as much insight as she possibly can about adult content. Sarah Jo specifically finds a video by a star named Vance Leroy that she gets off to. Sarah Jo now has a special place for him in her heart. The next day, while Sarah Jo is working, Heather whimpers out of pain because her water broke. Heather asks Sarah Jo to call Josh. But Heather notices Sarah Jo's necklace and asks her where got it from. Sarah Jo says that she got it from a county fair. This makes Heather immediately know that Josh ruined it again because this is not the first time that he cheats on her wife. Josh tries to make the situation better by saying that Sarah Jo means nothing to him and fires her. At night, she decides to watch Vance Leroy and write him a letter in which she states that most men reminded her of garbage collectors or her old stepdads, but she likes that way he uses his body almost like a gymnast, and the fact that, like her, he has a scar and he's not afraid to show it to the world. Sarah Jo continues to write that she recently got her heart broken because she was having an affair with a married man. She knows that it was wrong, but she believes that she's not someone who is destined to find love, so when it appears in her path, she has to take it. Sarah Jo also thinks that the reason her affair didn't work is because she was not really good at it. So she has now set her mind to execute a plan to allow her to become really good at screwing. Sarah Jo takes some pictures and signs up for a dating app. So she meets with a random guy and she tries to do the first thing on her list of fantasies. With each guy she tries, she figures that some of them go too fast and others go too slow. But then she meets this guy named Arvin. He calls her Bernice because she doesn't give out her real name. Arvin says that he brought some drinks and is interested in talking to her before doing anything, unlike the other guys she's been with. However, Sarah Jo says that she prefers to just get to it. This time Sarah Jo wants to blow him off. Arvin tells her that while those jobs might seem like a big deal to most guys, they're not to him because he sees thousands of them a day since he works in the adult industry. His job is to assist the stars. Sarah Jo's eyes light up like there's no tomorrow and she asks Arvin if he knows Vance Leroy. Arvin says that he does and in fact he's very sweet. So Sarah Jo asks if Arvin could give Vance a letter she wrote. Arvin agrees to pass on the letter and he leaves because Sarah Jo was being too pushy and he just wanted to have a good time. The following day, Sarah Jo goes to a bar and manages to get the courage to talk to a stranger. But she tries to kiss him way too quickly. The man stops her, but invites her to have coke with him. After that, they get more intimate. But the man wants to do more than just get blown away. Sarah Jo is not into that, so the interaction ends there. In the morning, while Sarah Jo is having breakfast, Trina notices that she's scratching her private parts. Later, Mercedes, the woman who holds Sarah Jo's therapy group, swings by her house because she's worried about the fact that Sarah Jo lost her job and Josh didn't give a reason for her departure. Mercedes tells Sarah Jo that she's truly a great caregiver and it would be a shame if she stopped helping kids. Mercedes also mentions that they have a girl in Pasadena who needs someone. Her name is Layla and she has cerebral palsy. But Sarah Jo seems to be too invested in watching adult content at the moment. Later she surprises Josh and his family on the street, just to tell him that in the last month, she's done all sorts of very naughty activities. After that, she runs away, leaving Josh and Heather fighting about their relationship. Moments after Sarah Jo goes to her room, Trina appears and asks her sister to take pictures of her. Trina asks Sarah Jo about Arvin to see if she likes him. But Sarah Jo says that she doesn't get crushes. Trina is completely different. Sarah Jo is so amused by how fast Trina can get over guys. So Trina tells her that it is because there's a million of them out there. There's always another one. Arvin visits Sarah Jo to give her a USB memory. Turns out Arvin recorded a video of Vance Leroy saying that he read her letters and they were so meaningful to him. And that the reason for her breakup wasn't about how good she was in bed. Vance also makes her feel proud about her scars. This is everything Sarah Jo needed to hear. So now she's ready to get back to helping kids. Sarah Jo wants to thank Arvin for what he did for her, so she invites him over. But this time Sarah Jo allows herself to feel a deeper connection with the person she's doing it with.